Tamam. Hello everyone. Since we have already studied the topic kinds of animals, now we're going to go on with our test questions. This is an activity for 6th grade C level. Now the first question. Choose the correct answer for mammals. Lay eggs. I know that mammals don't lay eggs, they give birth. Mammals have feathers. No, they don't. They have hair or fur. They give birth. Are warm-blooded? Yes, that's a correct answer, but I'll go on anyway. Are scientists? I know that being a scientist is an occupation, so I don't choose that. It's irrelevant, so I choose C. Second question. How do fish breathe? Through lungs. I know that mammals breathe through their lungs. Through feathers. Feather is not something that we can breathe through. It's their skin. Whose skin? For birds. Birds have feathers. How do fish breathe? Through their skin. I know that we cannot, or the animals cannot breathe through their skin. Through their gills? Yes, that's correct. Fish breathe through their gills. Third question. What do mammals feed their babies with? Grass? Yes, some animals can feed their babies with grass, but not all mammals. I cannot say that. Chocolate? Yes, human beings feed their youngsters with chocolate, but not the babies. Milk, yes, that's a correct answer. Bread, we cannot feed a baby with a bread for the first time, so I'm going to choose milk as a correct answer. So there's a different question. Who are zoologists? As you can imagine, zoo is a place where animals are to be seen. And zoologists are scientists who study animals. Scientists that study environment is not an option because zoo is about animals, so I'm going to choose animals. Let's take a look at the other choices. Reptiles, I know that reptiles are kind of animals, and amphibians are also a kind of animal, but zoologist is an occupation. So I need to choose scientists who study animals. Now, fifth question. Which class of animals do people belong to? I know that people give birth. I know that people have hair. And also I know that people live on land. For these three features, they all take us to mammals because we cannot fly, we cannot have a scale. We don't have it, or we're not amphibians. We can't live on water first and then go on the land. So it takes us to mammals. Sixth question. What do mammals use to breathe with? Mammals, as you can see, gills are for fish to breathe. Warm blood, yes, mammals are warm-blooded, but this cannot help us to breathe with, so I'm going to skip. Skin, no, we don't breathe with our skins, but we've got lungs to breathe, so D is the correct answer. 7. What are fish covered with? Feathers, birds covered with feathers. Bones, yes, some animals have bones, but not only fish. Hair, only mammals have hair, as we can know. Scales, that's true. Reptiles and fish are covered with scales. Now, the animals which doesn't depend on the weather for their body temperature are called white-blooded. There are no white-blooded blood type because we've got cold-blooded or warm-blooded. So these are not the colors that we use to describe being a blood type. We need to choose cold-blooded and warm-blooded. I know that cold-blooded animals depend on the weather or their surroundings. So I'm going to choose warm-blooded animals. Just like we humans are, our body temperature doesn't change depending on the weather. Now, 9. What do warm-blooded animals do to make their body heat? Warm-blooded animals. A. They breathe with gills. Only fish breathe with gills, so this is not an option. They eat food. Yes, this is correct. When we don't eat anything, or the other warm-blooded animals don't eat anything, we feel cold. But they wear warm jackets, but only people wear warm jackets, so this is not an option. They lay eggs. Warm-blooded animals don't lay eggs, they give birth. So I'm going to choose they eat food for the 9th question. 10. Which of the following animal is a mammal? We've got alligators, snakes, tiger, and frog. Alligators are reptiles, as we all know. Snakes are reptiles. Frogs are amphibians. So I'm going to choose C for mammals. Next one. Amphibians have A. Scales, B. Hair, C. Moist skin, D. Feathers. So I know that fish and reptiles have scales. Hair, I know that mammals have scales. Moist skin, that's correct. They have moist skin because they need to adapt themselves to their surroundings like water, like river. That's why they have moist skin. And feathers belong to birds, as you can imagine, so I'm going to choose C. 12th question. A butterfly grows from an egg to a caterpillar, then it grows into a cocoon, and finally to a butterfly. What is this process called? This is another different question for you. This is called metamorphosis, for the butterfly to change their cover. Getting warm is not a process. Zoology is a profession, an occupation, just like we have seen earlier in the questions. And breathing is an action. We breathe through our lungs and fish breathe through their gills. But zoology is a profession, and A, metamorphosis, is the answer for this question. 13. All birds have. What do all the birds have? Do they have hair? No. Mammals have hair. Fur, again, mammals have fur. Scales, reptiles and fish have scales. Feathers, yes, that's correct. All birds have feathers. Now, these animals begin their life in water, live the rest of their life in land, are called. Now, mammals live on land, reptiles also. Some reptiles live on water, that's true, but still they don't begin their life in water. Only amphibians do, so we choose C. 15. Where do most mammals live? A. Underground, B. Sea, C. Sky, D. Sea and land. Underground is not an option because most mammals live on the ground. C. Mammals are not fish, so we don't choose C. Sky, we don't live in the sky, and the mammals don't live in the sky because they need to feed and we don't have wings to fly, so we need to choose D, sea and land. Some mammals, like whales, live in the sea. 16. How do cold-blooded animals get the heat? Now, cold-blooded animals, as an example, fish are cold-blooded animals. By making sounds? No, because they need to adapt their body temperature to the environment, so making sounds doesn't work. By living in the sea, yes, they are living in the sea, but it doesn't change their body temperature. By laying eggs is the way they produce or reproduce, so it's not an option either. From the surroundings, yes, that's correct. Cold-blooded animals get the heat from the surroundings. 17. Animals that have thick scales on the outside are called birds, amphibians, mammals, or reptiles. Amphibians has moist, smooth skin. That's why it's not an option. Birds have feathers. They don't have scales. So it's not an option either. But mammals have fur or hair. So that's not an option. Thick scales only belongs to reptiles because they have dry skin. 18. What are cold-blooded animals? Animals get heat from their surrounding. That's true because they need to adapt their body temperature into their surrounding. Animals that get heat from what they eat, they don't get heat from what they eat. That's what mammals do. If they don't eat anything, they got cold. Animals eat a lot of ice. They don't eat ice, and this is not a feature of a cold-blooded animal. Animals that live on the land, again, that's not an option. Living on the land doesn't change the fact that you are a cold-blooded animal. So, A. Animals get heat from their surrounding. 19. All birds, what do all birds do? A. Breathe with their gills. B. Have hair. C. Have feathers. D. Are mammals. Gills belong to the fish, so they don't breathe with their gills. Have hair only belongs to the mammals, so this is not an option either. Have feathers, that's true. All birds have feathers. All birds are mammals, that's not true because being a bird is a different type and being a mammal is a different type. So this is totally different. C is the correct answer. Last question. Which of the following animals lay eggs? A. People. B. Tigers. C. Whales. D. Snakes. People, tigers and whales, they're all mammals, so they give birth. But snakes are reptiles, so they lay eggs. I hope that my presentation would be helpful for you all. Thank you for listening. Be safe, be healthy, and be happy all you guys. See you later.